Alright guys, back with another video. So, we all know that Pierre has done a really good job of exposing Mark Carney about, all the lies and the corruption, and now he's exposing Mark Carney for dodging his taxes. And I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about this, but let's have a look at this video. The sources, it's from Pierre Poilievre's YouTube channel, but the source is CTV News. So let's have a look and then we'll talk about it after like usual.
Sandy, it's a plan to go after big earners using tax loopholes to save money. Pierre Poilievre says he'll stop them from hiding their money abroad and ensure they're paying their fair share. Inside an Edmonton auto shop, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre took aim at Mark Carney today with a pitch to close offshore tax loopholes.
Mark Carney, like all Liberals, is a high-tax hypocrite, making you pay more while he dodges his bill.
The Conservatives have criticized Carney for using offshore tax havens during his time as chair of Brookfield Asset Management. CTV News previously reported Brookfield registered several of its entities in Bermuda, a country that has no corporate income tax. Asked today whether a Liberal government would condemn the use of tax havens, Carney had this to say.
First of all, I'm actually surprised that they're even reporting on this. The media has done a really good job of kind of glossing over Mark Carney, kind of propping him up so that, makes him look better. But exposing this issue is a big deal, and I think it's a big deal for a lot of Liberal voters. This is going to make them not turn around and vote Conservative all of a sudden, but it's going to make them less enthusiastic. Some of them, anyway. And if they're less enthusiastic, they're less likely to vote, or at least maybe go back to the NDP. So this is a good thing that this is happening.
What's important is that we have a effective tax system, and that every company follows the rules of those tax to not just the letter but the spirit of those regulations.
Carney has maintained he always followed the rules. Now Poilievre's Conservatives are pitching changing them.
We will target tax havens, expose offshore fortunes, and bring the money home. All of this with the goal of reducing the tax burden on the people in this country.
That would include, under a Conservative government, redirecting CRA resources away from small businesses and toward efforts to close tax haven loopholes. The NDP has also proposed policies to close tax loopholes and end agreements with countries like Bermuda. It all comes on the heels of the Conservatives' biggest rally yet in Edmonton Monday night, where Poilievre was endorsed by former Prime Minister Stephen Harper, who was the one to appoint Mark Carney as Governor of the Bank of Canada.
I am the only person who can say that both of the men running to be Prime Minister once worked for me. And in that regard, my choice, without hesitation, without equivocation, without a shadow of a doubt, is Pierre Poilievre.
Non-profit group Canadians for Tax Fairness estimates the Canadian government loses more than $40 billion a year to tax loopholes. Between 10 and 25 billion of that is international tax dodging. Okay. Sandy?
Yeah, and see, there you go. You don't hear the Liberals talk about tax dodging. Oh, how could they when the leader of their party is literally a tax dodger, one of the biggest in Canada? A lot of people like to talk about, what's Mark Carney's net worth? We don't know. I don't think he's a billionaire, but I've also read online that his net worth is like $6 million. I don't believe that for a second. That guy probably has houses worth more than $6 million. But when you hide your assets overseas in places like Bermuda where they don't tax very much, and in fact on some things they don't tax at all, they just take their money out of Canada, put it in Bermuda, which hurts our country. So for all those people who believe, well, Mark Carney's the guy to lead our country, he doesn't care about Canada. He's never cared about Canada. It's probably why he barely has ever lived here. Why do you think he wanted those jobs overseas? Because he loved Canada? He's a money printing tax dodger. That's globalist banker. And for people to not see that, it's hilarious. And I also really like how Pierre Poilievre said he's not going to go after small businesses, which is good. We need to help small businesses so that they can thrive. And when you catch tax dodgers or people who try to find loopholes so they don't have to pay their fair share, which is always big corporations who do it, not small businesses, they should be punished. tax them so hard that their heads spin. And that would cost them a lot of money. They won't do it anymore. Just change the tax codes. And then what you can also do is then give those tax, since you're getting so much more tax money from big corporations, you can give small businesses a tax, you can give them a tax break, making it easier for a small business to thrive. And that way, if these big corporations say, well, we're just going to leave if you raise our taxes like that, you say, okay, well, we're going to have so many other businesses coming up, you'll be replaced. Now, maybe you won't have a Walmart right away. You'll have to go to each specific store. If you can't just go to Walmart, or you can go to Walmart and get food and clothes and all that kind of stuff. You might just have to go to different places to get all that. I know it's convenient to have a Walmart. But for example, if a big corporation wants to leave, but your small business sector is thriving, those smaller businesses will just grow. Now, I'm not like obviously I'm not a major in economics, but let's be honest. If we don't have a plan to grow other businesses, and the corporations have all of the leverage, they win. If there's no competition, they can get away with doing whatever they want because we need them. We need their jobs. We need the tax money that we do get. But if small business sectors are thriving more and more and they become bigger and bigger business, adding competition to those big corporations, they can't get away with their nonsense anymore. So again, not an expert in economics, but I know that if you punish big corporations and you help small businesses thrive, you can have a great economy. And next thing you know, corporations aren't in charge of our politics anymore, because we all know a lot of politicians are bought and paid for by corporations as well, which leads to a whole bunch of corruption I know you guys know about. But either way, let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Please don't be shy. I really like when Pierre Poilievre goes after Carney like this. I'm sure you do, so let me know what you think. Please also don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps grow the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back shortly with a new video.